everyone, welcome once again to Arrow Discussions. I'm Captain Logan. With me tonight is Steve Baxey.
Hi, I'm Steve.
And tonight, we're talking about the 11th episode of the season of Arrow. It's Midnight City. And we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it because there's a lot to talk about with this one.
Yes.
Steve, why don't you go ahead and give us your best moment, worst moment, and your overall read on this one, and then I shall do the same. We'll get to talking. We'll also talk to our live internet audience a little bit. Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, so to be fair, because I called last week's episode the best we had this season, I'm going to start with all the good.
Okay, cool.
Done.
No, that's not fair. No, come on now.
I really didn't like this episode. I thought it was really bad. I thought it was really regressing everything we got to. I'll go ahead and give you my worst moment right now, because this is the crux of why I hated this episode.
No, you're supposed to start with what you... Oh. You didn't... Okay. All right, go ahead.
So, Laurel uses technology to pretend to be Sarah and talk to Captain Lance. That was so bad.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. That really...
I almost felt insulted. I'm like, he's your father. That was your sister. That's his daughter. Why would you do that? It's
so wrong. It's so wrong.
It crossed a line for me. Like, I was vehemently angry when I saw it.
I'm with you. You know what I was... Can I say this real quick? You know what I was more angry about?
Sure.
I jumped out of my chair excited when I saw Katie Lott's name in the opening credits.
Yeah, I was excited. I was hoping to get something with her, because I know she's coming back for a episode later down the line.
I thought we were going to get a flashback with her or something, and I mean, like, I'll take anything right now. I miss her.
Yeah, I do too.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
To use her voice like that, that got me so mad. I hated that. I hate Laurel. So, opening scene, he gets the crap beat out of her by a mugger. And then when Felicity gives her the okay, she's beating people down no problem with Roy. And that's just really inconsistent, not to mention the fact that she could actually fight people in the first season. So where did all those skills go? Where did all the 10 grand boxing lessons go? She can't even use a stick without just swinging her whole body for some reason.
But then
that's really annoying.
But then at the same time, she's certainly not skilled enough, even if she's got all the skills, to be working with Team Arrow yet.
Yeah, so I don't understand where her skills are coming from and where they're going. They're so random.
It's whatever the script needs at a moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's a really inconsistent. The brick stuff is fine. I like the fact that he's able to shake down the mayor into just getting rid of all the cops.
Well, you could have started with that for your good stuff, Steve. You could have said, I like the brick. I'm going to go this far. I love the brick stuff. And my only complaint about it is that he should have at least been set up in the beginning of the season or something, because he kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, agreed. I think the actor for Brick, especially Vinnie Jones, is fantastic.
Yeah, he's great.
When he premiered last week, and then the season premiere when we got Vertigo, the new one, they got some really great actors to do a gang war with, but they haven't been handling the story very well. I almost don't even care, because when we got to the final action scene, where Felicity's like, okay, Canary, go, and Roy, go, and they were beating up all of Brick's men, I just didn't care anymore. Because I didn't understand what was going behind Team Arrow's head. I didn't understand Felicity making that weird turn of now suddenly it's okay to help Ray Palmer.
Yeah.
It's very different to have an emergency situation and to perpetuate something that's making nothing but miserable, as you said last episode.
It's the same thing that we're seeing with Flash, with the whole Barry's okay with everything Wells does now thing.
Exactly.
It's this light switch
I want to give my favorite quote only because this cements everything I hate about this episode. Diggle says, Laurel, what the hell?
What? Explain that.
He says, Laurel, what the hell? That's it. That's my favorite quote. That's my favorite thing. That's the best thing about the episode. That's exactly what the show said to me. Laurel, what the hell?
That's hilarious. Well, here's the thing. Laurel is not out of character for where she's been lately. The issue for me is not that she's going out and doing what she's doing, it's that anybody is fine with it. And the way they're playing it at the beginning of the episode is okay, viewers that are paying attention, we know that you're gonna say she can't do these things, she shouldn't be able to do all this with this kind of training, and that the only reason that she's trying to fight crime is because she feels bad about Sarah's death and she's trying to cope somehow. But what they want us to be okay with is just addressing it and then suddenly everybody's fine with it all at once. You've got to have a long period of developing that, Steve. You can't do that in 5 minutes, and that's what they did. The beginning of the episode, it's Roy going, you can't go out and do this. It's Diggle going, you can't go out and do this. I think they want us to think that they did a character arc, but you know, even if it had been more of a character arc, I still don't think that I would have bought it. In one episode, I don't see how you get from point A to point B in one episode with that. I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, they've just been so inconsistent about what we should think about her all the way since season 2, and I don't even know if they did a character arc, where they think they even started it. It just hasn't.
Well, I'm not talking about for her. I'm talking about for Roy and Felicity and Diggle. That somehow or rather, I guess it's supposed to just be because she. Well, I mean, I guess even for her, the arc is really light switchy. Where it's like, okay, I started at the beginning of the episode from a place of I'm just doing this to cope with grief. And then I had, like, one good talk with Diggle, and now I'm doing it for the right reasons. I don't know, man. I need more time than that. And then it gets even worse when it's, we need somebody to save the city, and Arrow's not around, and the only person who can solve this problem is Laurel Lance in a Black Canary costume. No.
Yeah, I hate that. I would sooner... I think if you were Team Arrow, you would sooner go to Ray Palmer and his tech suit before you let Laurel do this.
Well, yeah, naturally. Can we talk about that for just a second?
Sure, yeah.
So Roy Palmer lets Felicity have a helicopter, having no idea what she's going to use it for, and asking no questions when she returns it. Okay. I get that he's in love with her and all of that, but at the very least, at some point, he needs to just come right out and be like, okay, so, like, I know that you're working with the Arrow, because why else would you need a helicopter? You know?
I mean, I don't get that. So, your wife's death is so ingrained in your memory, you're going to waste all your time and money making a tech suit to avenge her, except be a good guy, the opposite of Malcolm. But you're also completely infatuated with a girl that you'll let her do anything from your company. I don't understand that. I don't understand what he sees in Felicity, and yet at the same time be so completely obsessed with the death of his wife.
Well, that seems to just continue to be an excuse for things, where you've got to have some kind of impetus for being a hero, and they're trying to do a parallel with him and Felicity, where he's already gotten to a place where he's doing it for the right reasons, and like it starts from a place of trying to cope with grief, and then once it turns into acceptance, it's, well, I developed these abilities and this whole idea of going out and fighting crime, and also I don't want what happened to whoever, to X person I care about to happen to anybody else, so I'm still doing it from that original impetus, but it's not just like revenge or coping or that kind of thing. But I've never really felt for him or anything. It seemed that seemed like just another really obvious. And I'm not saying like I need a flashback or anything. I'm not invested.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need a flashback. I don't need Brandon Routh to be tortured. I think the way he's playing it is fine. It's just a matter of he likes Felicity and he wants to be a superhero. And they're really mixing the motivations and the interests between those two. And I think they get the idea. I think they have the idea that what they're doing is working and it's fine. But I need a little bit more than Felicity is pretty and interesting.
I'm with you. Well, we're about halfway through, Steve. Let's do some other categories, and then I want to talk to the viewers because there's a whole bunch of comments. So it looks like everybody tonight on Primetime Crisis Live came for Arrow, and maybe we should have started with it. We're getting a lot of comments. So let's go ahead and real quick do quotes. My favorite quote was, "Star City seems more like Brick City to me."
I love the way he delivers that. That actor is just great with everything.
Vinnie Jones, when you saw him at X3, and that's probably the only thing I've seen him in, he's a big muscle-bound meathead guy. He's just there to go run into stuff. I didn't expect that he could play a big mastermind character like this, and he's great. I mean, like, they give him pages of dialogue, and he totally sells it. I didn't know this guy could act. He's fantastic.
Yeah, I love him. He's got a wonderful presence. Everything he says, even if like the motivation to the situation doesn't work, he always makes it more enjoyable. The thing in the mayor's office when he's like, "I've always wanted to meet the mayor," that's fantastic.
Well, he's got that in common with Slade, right? I mean, he's got that in common with a lot of villains in this show. I mean, one thing you can really give the show is it knows how to cast people.
Yeah, that's true. Manu Bennett, despite Slade's lack of motivation, is still fantastic.
Yeah, I never get tired of seeing him on screen, even if I have no idea what in the world I'm looking at. Did you have a favorite quote?
Just Diggle saying, "Laurel, what the hell?" Just because that's Diggle personifying everything I hate. So.
Going on to comic references. Okay, so we sort of have Belle Reve, but everyone keeps calling it Belle Rev. What's that about?
In most animated things, it's pronounced Belle Rev, and then in live action, it's pronounced Belle Reve. So I don't know. In Young Justice, it's Belle Rev.
See, I think the thing is, I was only familiar with that because of Smallville, and I wonder if maybe they changed it because of Christopher Reeve. But then it's like,
maybe.
why would you want to name an insane asylum after Christopher Reeve?
Yeah, that's a good point. In Young Justice, it's Belle Rev, and that's the only place I've heard it pronounced except here.
Oh, okay, Belle. And then we had another street, 16th and Kent. So that's maybe a Superman thing, maybe not. But that was the other one I caught.
Yeah. The only other reference I also found was the compressed hard light beams.
Oh, okay. What's that from?
Because that's a Green Lantern and Walker thing. That's where their powers come from. Or that's how the powers manifest, is their compressed hard light beams.
Let's do trivia questions real quick, Steve. What's yours for today?
My trivia question is, in Dinah Drake's first appearance, what title character has a crush on her? Since everyone is always doing things with Laurel, let's do something with Black Canary.
Mine is, what does Felicity give Palmer to power his Atom suit?
Apparently Brian Routh has actually tried on the suit, and it's going to be more than just armor. So that's interesting.
Oh, okay. What does that mean, more than just armor?
It's not just going to be like a straight-up Iron Man techno ripoff. There might actually be some like spandex or leathery thing going. Like, it might actually be a legitimate costume.
Okay, so everybody in the comments is actually talking about Arrow. There's a ton of stuff, so let's just run down the list here. I'm going to go up to the top here, and also Peter Parker wants to vote for you for president.
Oh, well, thank you. I will take this nomination and see what I can do in the next 4 years.
Well, you're not old enough.
Not yet. Well, we'll wait for another 15 years.
Yeah, you got to be 35, Steve.
Yes, 15 years. 15 years. Number one.
Give me a second. Let me find a good place to start here.
Yeah, there's a lot today.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here. I hope Farmer Yeti. I hope Oliver fights a big spider at the end of the season. Okay.
Oh, we should talk about that. Last episode, they're like, "I brought you back from the dead." This episode, like, "You're lucky to be alive."
Yeah, I don't think they brought him back from the dead. I think they...
That's just infuriating. He was stabbed through the side and the chest and kicked off a cliff wearing nothing but pants in the mountainous snow. If he didn't die of the stab, he would have died of hypothermia.
The one good thing about... I mean, it is incredibly cheap and gimmicky of them, if that's how they're doing it, that they would have like this big mid-season cliffhanger like that. At least it wasn't a season cliffhanger, but like, you know where it's like, it was like, we clearly killed our protagonist, and because it's with the League of Assassins, you know that he can come back to life, and then they're like, it's not going to be Lazarus Pit. They've been almost bragging about the fact that it's not Lazarus Pit, and if they just nursed him back to health, come on, man. I mean, like, because the problem is, this has been a grounded enough show. I don't like that word with this show, especially because, we spun off Flash and stuff, but I mean, like, they've been consistent enough with that kind of stuff that usually when Oliver gets hurt, he gets really hurt. And I kind of feel for him, and it takes a while for him to come back from it and stuff. And if he's able to come back to life because he didn't really die like this, then I'm going to have a hard time, not every time something bad happens to him, being like, well, they can just, give him plot armor and write him out of it. They're kind of writing everybody in and out of everything right now. It's like, we need this person to be okay with this thing, so we'll just have this like really easy character turn in like 6 seconds. And anyway, I know I'm being really hard on it, but that's what they're doing.
No, it's fair to be hard on it. It's infuriating that you would end a half the season on that, make such a big deal out of it to keep rerunning the clip, brought you back to life. and then not bring him back to life. I even gave him an out with the Soul Taker sword. They could have used the Soul Taker sword. They still didn't do it.
But there's one good thing about it, and that is I think we will still have something akin to Lazarus Pit on the show.
Hopefully, yeah.
I think we have to.
If Ra's al Ghul continues to be a main character.
Well, Ra's al Ghul is immortal, unless we just stop using him, but they keep doing stuff with the League, and then the DJ guy turned out to be part of the League, and at least he's something. That's good. I didn't trust them to not just make that a really pointless subplot. At least he's something, that, you know. But I'm just saying that, like, I don't see them not going back to Ra's in the season.
Yeah, well, hopefully they do, and clearly with the DJ, there's something there. I would have appreciated that twist more if we actually saw him more than once. Because now it's not a reveal, now it's just he's in this episode, so clearly something's going on.
Trackazor 132. Trackazor! Okay, so given what they're doing with his character and the apparent not shrinking thing, will someone explain to me why they used Ray Palmer instead of Ted Kord? Fair point, especially given that we've had so much Kord industry stuff in this, and frankly, I would make the argument that Blue Beetle is a little bit of a better known character than the Atom.
Yeah, and Ray Palmer, the way they're playing him, is just Ted Kord from the comics, in the way Ralph is at least portraying it, so...
Yeah, so that's weird, because it's not like they don't have access to that name. Surely they could do that character if they really wanted to. Constantine
just had like a Blue Beetle reference that we forgot to mention.
Oh,
so
okay.
I mean, clearly they can do something with him.
AMC Comics, I am just glad that Roy brought up the fact that Merlyn is responsible for what happened to Sarah, as opposed to last episode where nobody brought it up.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Roy should be really upset. I feel like everyone should be really upset that Laurel did that thing with using her voice and talking to Lance. I felt like that's like one of the most morally impermissible things to happen.
Yeah, and they're helping him out. They're helping her out with it.
Yeah, I mean, Diggle had his brother die, and you're like, what if that happened to me? He's not even thinking about that? Really? If Oliver doesn't come back and reprimand everyone for even being a company to that, I don't think I can even sympathize with him if he figures it out and says nothing.
Yeah, and, you know, obviously, I'm sure what the showrunners would tell you is that it's because, well, besides the fact that we're just stretching that out ad nauseum, is that, well, she's afraid that if he finds out, he'll have a heart attack, and we can just keep going to that and make that the reason, you know, you know, she always is in the right because she's trying to save her father. But it's unsustainable.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I would be maybe a little bit more okay with it if it wasn't Laurel, because that's her sister, that's her dad, you know? Like, there's something about that relationship. If she cares about him that much, and then to just go roundabout and lie to him, I feel like she didn't really care about him at all then.
Well, is maybe mostly the problem with it that she seems to be more okay with doing what she's doing than she ought to be? I mean, like...
Yeah.
I don't know how you could sleep at night and do that to your dad. And mess with the memory of your sister like that. And I don't know, man. Like, there's no justifying that for me. And I guess part of it is that I love that character, and I kind of hate seeing him do that to her. You know, maybe even more than Lance. But I mean, like, more of the problem. Let me be a little more objective and scale back a little bit away from my feelings about Sarah, because, you know, my wife knows that I would ask her to marry me if I met her in person. I'm just kidding. I'm mostly
I was
kidding.
about to agree with you, so.
But let me back off a little bit and say that we all know where this is going. Like, they're just gonna keep writing it off until they finally decide, okay, now's the time that he finds out. And you know what? I bet he doesn't have a heart attack right there. And if he does, that would be really silly.
Yes, it would be.
I think. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's got heart stuff or whatever. But is she not compounding it? Is she not making it a lot worse? That, like, I've just thought of this, that when he finally finds out, he thinks he just talked to her. And then when he finally finds out that she's dead, surely they'll do something where he finds out how long she's been dead and that Laurel's been lying. Wouldn't that compound it? In fact, they could actually give him a heart attack right then, and I would buy it, and I would blame Laurel for it.
Yeah, there's no justifying it. I mean, there's the emotional aspect of child-parent relationships, but then there's just the bigger thing of if he gets a heart attack at this point, and it's because of Laurel, and they spin it away to a point where Lan says it wasn't your fault, I would just have to drop the show immediately because that's just rewriting all the characters to love each other because the show needs them to.
Well, we are very much out of time, but I'd like to, if you don't mind, Steve, I'd like to run a little bit long this time just to answer a few more of these questions. This is a big show. There's a lot of stuff this time. Bamboo, why is everyone so afraid of Malcolm? That's a great question.
Yeah, great point. I have no idea, and I don't even understand Malcolm at this point. So I don't know if anyone else does.
I'm with you. I still don't quite get it. Once again, even with Malcolm, even this guy is easily manipulated by just, a script. Where you get to the end and she has Thea has one kind of like one line that's like we've gotta be stronger and we've gotta stay here, and he goes, yeah, okay, you're right, you win. Really? Unless a couple of episodes down the road we find out that that was all part of a big elaborate scheme to make her okay with staying in the city. which is completely plausible for this show. At this point.
Yeah, this is a show that made me not like John Barrowman. I feel like that's a little bit unforgivable.
Yeah, that's rough. Because I don't get excited about seeing that character anymore. And once again, we've said this 1,000 times, but we shouldn't have. We shouldn't have brought him back. DC Marvel fan guy says they would stand no chance against Merlyn, and they know it. I guess, but the problem is, again, they just keep writing characters out of situations. Like once you have Oliver just being nursed back to health like that, and once you have new Black Canary is the only person that can stop this problem when the police can't do it, then they could just put current Team Arrow in a situation with Malcolm and have them beat him, and then I'm supposed to buy it just because they decided that's what's going to happen. I mean, nothing's coming from character places right now.
Yeah. I mean, if the excuse is they can't beat him, then go back to episode 4. Oliver should have just broken his legs.
Yeah, exactly. Then it becomes completely Oliver's fault. We have lost track of who these people are.
Yeah, agreed. It's going to be terrible when Oliver shows back up, and everything's going to be A-okay again for no reason.
Johnny Torch gives another rebuttal for that and says, I can get them being afraid of Malcolm, but you would think it was their duty at that point to take him down, which
or at least
was
try, yeah.
The thing with Oliver. It was like, oh, you know what? You're right. And again, we keep convincing people of things with a single line of dialogue. You know what, Malcolm? You're right. I can't put you in prison. So, run along now.
It's crazy.
This is great. AMC Comics. It's too bad they don't have a superpowered friend on speed dial. Like, I don't know. The Flash!
That's perfect. That's been the problem with this show.
That's great.
Started.
You do this giant crossover, and you have to contrive silly reasons to get them to each city, and then when you really need some help, you don't even think to call. And Flash is, somewhat busy with stuff, but he could probably, take some time out of his busy schedule to go stop a mob boss that is taking over entire portions of a city.
Or, I mean, it's strange because it works both ways now. We have the Reverse Flash thing. Well, let's see. We don't know who he is. I'm trying to get more disciplined. I wonder if I ever had a friend that's been doing this for years and was trying to train me before and could clearly make me a better superhero. Why doesn't he go to Oliver the same way?
Bamboo, but Malcolm is better than Diggle, Roy, and even Laurel combined? I mean, I guess so. But then I still don't understand, if he's supposed to be that super powerful, why he thought that Oliver had any more of a chance against Roz than he did.
Yeah, it destroys his motivation, and once again, I will raise they should either at least try, or Oliver should have beaten them up in episode 4. It has to be one way or the other, because just the fact that Malcolm is even here right now doesn't work. So if we're going to do anything to support him, you have to bring up the reason why it doesn't work.
Mind the gap, I also feel Felicity is taking up too much attention since mid-season 2. I wouldn't agree with you if I liked what they were doing with her, but they've made her part of the, the kind of drama I don't like. You know what I mean? Felicity's great when she's in the middle of the superhero stuff. And I'm not saying you can't do relationship stuff with her, I'm just saying that they haven't done a good job with it, so I wish they hadn't.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, did you want to say anything about the flashbacks real quick?
Nothing especially. I still don't care.
I know. I don't either.
I don't know what else to say beyond that. Like, I don't care about Maseo. I don't care about Katana. Give those people characters and do something that isn't ridiculously obvious.
Yeah, and this whole going back to, where we are in the timeline from 5 years ago thing is just really easy.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure people are going to hate us for ragging on Arrow so hard, but I mean, come on. It's one thing to be to turn your brain off and enjoy a show, and it's another to create a standard for yourself and then constantly not live up to it.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that like early? I mean, I say even the pilot is 6 times better than this season.
Yeah. I would take the second half of season 2 over this entire season.
I would too,
and it was enjoyable. Some places.
Yeah, and I had huge issues with that. Yes, we are being really tough on it. I'm with you though. I think it's deserved. I don't think this is like when you opened up and said there was nothing good about this episode. I mean, I like the brick stuff, like I said, but that's pretty much it right now. I don't know why Diggle. This will be the last thing I say. I don't know why Diggle isn't pretending to be Green Arrow. Somebody explain that to me, because he had the hood on at the beginning of last episode, and I know I keep harping on he should wear a costume. This isn't about that. This is about the perceptions of the city. A lot of what's going on with Brick is happening because they think the Arrow is gone, and Black Canary's back in town, so that's kind of like freaking people out a little bit. Oh man, she's back and she knows how to bust heads. Well, just have Diggle run around in the Green Arrow suit when he's fighting people.
Or just get Roy to do it if you want someone to be efficient with bows and arrows.
Oh, that's a good point, too. Yeah.
And I mean, we had last episode, Diggle was doing it. In this episode, they tell Lance Arrow's no longer around. So why isn't he asking the obvious question of, hey, who was that guy last week?
Yeah. And I also didn't... I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry. It was something. I was going to say something about the whole the whole thing early on with. I know what it was. Laurel is a liability from the very beginning, and that's my big thing with how Roy and Diggle are handling things in this episode. Roy is like better bringing Laurel with me than nothing, because we've got this huge problem we've got to solve, Diggle, so like I have to take her. No, she's a liability. You're better off alone. And then she proves it in that scene, and then at the end she's magically really helpful. You see what I mean? And like you could say, well, Diggle at least tried to get her to stay in the Arrow Cave and run point like Felicity, and she just refused. So so they couldn't do that. But that should have been Roy's idea in the first place.
Yeah, it's almost to this point where it would be more logical for them to just go ask Malcolm for help and say, well, this is your city too. Do you want to help us out with this situation for a little while to honor your wife's memory and all that?
Yeah. And
even so, that wouldn't work because they're supposed to be fighting Malcolm, but that's the only thing that would make sense in this case.
Well, real quick, you're spot on, Steve, about Roy ought to wear the Green Arrow suit instead of the Red Arrow suit. Interesting that they called him Red Arrow on the news, by the way. We still don't have Green Arrow, but they called him Red Arrow on the news. And then Mind the Gap says it was too noticeable to the criminals that Diggle didn't have good aim, so Roy as Arrow is a good idea. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I'm with you there. Anyway. That's going to be it for us. What was the answer to your trivia question, Steve?
The answer was Johnny Thunder.
Johnny Thunder.
He's not a character we see very often. I don't think he's had a series since like the 50s or 60s.
I've never heard of that character. The answer to my question is a quantum processor. That's what they're calling that thing. I guess that's the equivalent of the arc reactor in this universe. The quantum processor.
Really?
Well, anyway, everybody, thanks as always for watching. Sure appreciate it. We went a little bit long this time because there was so much to talk about, and again, our live viewers seem to all want to talk about Arrow. So anyway, thanks for watching. Sure appreciate it, and we'll see you again next week. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Steve Maxey.